it feels like you've already achieved all that without putting in the work. Therefore, it lowers your actual desire to go and do it. Doesn't this sound like something familiar? Yo, for the past 2 months, I haven't been listening to any music at all. This actually started one time when I was at the gym listening to my playlist, and my brain just started to feel scrambled. I actually felt like I was getting distracted from my workout. So I decided to turn off the music and stop listening to music for what started out as a week. At the end of the week, I was actually liking the no music better. So I decided to just continue, and now it's been around 2 months. This video is specifically towards music with lyrics and more specifically rap music. Now, before we get into what I've noticed in this time, I will share a disclaimer with you guys that I have heard some music in this time period when it was out of my control. For example, I heard music at the gym, or if my friends was playing music, I didn't ask them to turn it off. So I didn't run from music, I just haven't willingly turned it on. I also admit that I slipped up a few times here and there and turned on one song, just listened to it, and then turned it off right after. But that's about the extent of my music that I've listened to in the past 2 months. The first thing I'll talk about is that music is really just fuel for your emotions. The first thing you notice when you turn off music is you become much more balanced and in control. As a dude, you want to be like this. You don't want to be like this. What that means is you want to be stoic and balanced and in control, thinking clearly at all times. Listening to music, it just fuels your emotions. And especially when you listen to it all day, every single day, your emotions are just constantly being stirred up and all over the place all the time. Whenever an emotion arises, instead of sitting with your own thoughts and dealing with that emotion, you turn to music. You turn on a song that invokes the same emotion. For example, if you're feeling sad, you're gonna go and turn on a sad playlist and sit with that sadness and listen to music and feel more sad. In the moment, it's kind of addicting because music makes us feel good. So, whatever emotion we're feeling, if we're listening to songs that are related to that feeling, it's gonna feel good in the moment. But this is actually just making you more sad because instead of sitting there listening to your own thoughts and dealing with whatever it is that's causing you to be sad, unpacking the sadness and moving on, you're just sitting with it and listening to music and never really getting over it. This is the same thing with any other emotion. Take angry, for example. When you're feeling angry, you'll just turn on some drill music or something like that. This is what leads me into the next talking point, which is that music actually just causes passion with no action. For this, we'll stick with the emotion of anger. Anger is actually one of the best emotions you could feel to fuel improvement. But if every time you get angry or pissed off at something, you listen to some drill or some angry music, just sit by yourself with that anger, feeling good about it because of the music, it's going to take away your motivation to actually go and do something with that anger. Because as soon as you turn that music off, you're just back to normal. You feel fine again. Because your emotions was just stirred up that whole time and you didn't do a single thing about it. For me now, since I don't have music, when I feel angry or something like that, I have to channel that anger into something. I have to go to the gym and fight, learn how to fight and train. I have to actually do something productive, not just sit in my room all pissed off listening to music by myself. Really think about the rap music we listen to. A lot of the lyrics are just them talking about how much money they're making, how much women they're getting, and how great they are. So you're sitting there listening to that, it's resonating with your mind, you're feeling good about yourself, you're feeling passionate, but what have you actually done to deserve those feelings? All you've done is press play. You feel good and feel all these positive feelings without any action. You didn't actually do anything to deserve those feelings. Your life does not reflect what you're hearing. In reality, to make all that money and be successful, you have to put in work and go through pain and suffering. But you're getting all those feelings for free. All you're doing is pressing play and you're feeling like you've achieved something. So it's literally stealing your motivation to actually go and do it. Without music, you don't feel any of those things. So all you're left with is your thoughts. And you actually have to go and make things happen to feel better. Because really, the only time your mood should be increased, the only time you should start feeling positive feelings like that is when you see yourself moving towards your goal, not by just pressing play and listening to other people's lives. So essentially, it just gives you all those positive feelings, aka the passion, without the work. So of course you're gonna lose motivation. Why would you be motivated if you could feel great and feel good without actually doing anything? The next thing is your thoughts. If you're always listening to music, you never really have to take an honest look at yourself and your life and ask yourself where you are, where you're trying to go, and what you need to do to get there. Turning off the music causes you to be alone with yourself and your thoughts, whether they're positive or negative. This gives you the chance to really sort them out and clear your mind and see where it's at. This really gives us a chance to sort through our life, think of new plans and strategies that we wouldn't have thought of before with all the noise in our ear. You don't really realize how much of a game changer this is until you actually turn the music off. The music is just something external. It's telling you what emotions to feel, how to think, but those aren't your real thoughts. Your real thoughts come up in silence when you're by yourself with no music and no background noise playing. That honestly may be why we're so addicted to music, because we don't like the thoughts that come up into our mind. We don't like to have to deal with those emotions and thoughts by ourselves. So we turn them off and mute them with noise. But in order to actually live a fulfilling life, we're eventually going to have to live with those thoughts and unpack them so that we really feel peaceful and ourselves. This is also the only true way to be creative. How do you expect to have new ideas and creative thoughts if you're always drowning out your own with noise and other people's thoughts? When you're sitting there with your own thoughts and no music, creative ideas and thoughts come to you 10 times more frequently because your mind is only listening to yourself and trying to solve your own problems and come up with creative solutions. Filling all silence with music is just numbing your mind. And whether you want to believe it or not, it's influencing you in some way, and it's generally negative. What do you think happens when you play something in your ear 24/7? Of course, it's going to influence you. And the frequency of music actually resonates with our mind more than just regular words. Why do you think you memorize song lyrics without even trying, yet you struggle to memorize important things for your work and things that you actually want to learn? Most of the lyrics that we listen to in rap are just negative. They're about drugs, violence, and they paint women in a negative picture. You have to ask yourself if that's really what you want in your mind. And if it's not, then why do you keep listening to it? Because of course it's going to influence you whether you want to believe it is or not. It will influence you if you're playing it in your brain 24/7. I understand that a lot of us may resonate with what's being said in the music aside from the negativity. Like a lot of us want to be rich and be good with women. However, to actually become rich and good with women, you have to go through a whole lot of pain and suffering, trial and error. And when you're listening to the music, it feels like you've already achieved all that without putting in the work. Therefore, it lowers your actual desire to go and do it. Doesn't this sound like something familiar? You may think that this is a hot take because of how normalized and widely accepted this has become, but when you really take it in, all rap music is you playing another dude in your ear talk about how great he is, how many bitches he fucks, how much money he makes over and over in your ear. And instead of training your actual mind to think like this, instead of you going out there and actually doing it, you're just listening to it over and over, and your life doesn't reflect any of this. You can't tell me that this isn't similar to porn. It's the same thing, it's just the audio version. I understand that it's obviously not as extreme, but you can definitely see the similarities. It's pretty much very similar. It's just the audio version. This isn't coming from someone that barely listened to music. I actually used to be one of the biggest music consumers ever. It was in my ear all day, every single day. I actually just got my Apple Music report back, and it said I listened to 25,000 hours of music this year. That's equivalent to like 17 days. Imagine if I spent all that time listening to audiobooks or spending it on something productive. That's actually disgusting to me. So I'm glad that for the past 2 months I haven't been listening to music at all. In conclusion, after these 2 months, I really don't think I can ever go back to listening to music like that again. Honestly, anytime I hear it, like I recognize that it sounds good, it's creative, but like why am I listening to it? I don't want to hear a next dude brag. Like it doesn't interest me. So Going forward, I think I'm just gonna stay with the no music. Every time I've turned on a song here or there, I've just ended up turning it off because I just don't want to hear it. A challenge for you guys is just try going 1 week without it and just see what your thoughts are. See how you react. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a similar experience like this, or if you go do that challenge of 1 week without music. If this video helped you guys, like this video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I will see you guys tomorrow.